What's going on, everybody? GemMint here, and man, what an enormous box. We're here with the Venom Life-Size bust from Queen Studios. This has got to go down as one of the biggest statue boxes that I've ever had to unbox. The shipper was huge. There was black foam inside and hard corners and everything, but so excited to unbox this statue. Venom is one of my favorite characters. It's the first time I've ever owned a Queen Studios piece. I don't even know what to expect when I open this. I guess we'll try to throw the box on the floor and see what's inside. All right, so a regular styrofoam box inside of that huge art box. It does actually have the package contents pamphlet as well as assembly instructions. There's actually more pieces than I thought there was gonna be here with all the tendrils and everything. So yeah, they have the whole list on the back as well. And it does come with this certificate of authenticity in this top loader. I thought this was really cool, classy. Makes you feel like you got a pristine piece. Let's get those straps removed. And there are two layers on this box. So on the top layer, it's all the tendrils along with the nameplate and the tongue, as you can see. Removing the plastic, we'll start by taking a look at that nameplate here. So I'm a fan of the nameplates. I like how it's a modernized take on the Venom logo. He's got that metallic look to it, which is like what the movies use. And then you have this symbiote kind of crawling throughout the inside of the letters and on the back here. And then speaking of symbiote, we have a ton of tendrils. These are mostly matte black, which is pretty surprising, but they have a nice texturing to them. I thought they would have been shiny maybe, but most of them are pretty matte. A lot of movement going on in these tendrils. Some of them have multiple keys on them, so we'll show that during the assembly. But you can see how it's got that movement, kind of like veins and the living alien symbiote flowing throughout these tendrils. Here's two smaller pieces. These are all gonna either go like on the base or on Venom himself. Just another longer piece here, as you can see. This is actually one of the larger pieces of tentacle. It goes over his shoulder, I believe, around to his chest. Now this one had a little bit of shine to it, so that was pretty cool. You can see the same movement, but it's got that, reflection you can see from the light. All right, and here's the last piece of symbiote. This is another longer piece that you'll see during assembly, how it will kind of wrap over his shoulder. But great job on those tendrils. They look like the symbiote as you would expect. Huge piece. And then this tongue, man. This is one of the standout parts of this piece. The tongue with, you can see the taste buds. You can see all of that shine and gloss. The paint applications are top notch here. So much movement in the design, and I love the saliva on the end of the tongue. And we'll see that on the teeth as well. But man, that just looks amazing. Love the texturing of the sculpt here, and the movement of that tongue looks super realistic. And here goes like the classic Venom from the side look, right? That's the top layer. Venom is on the bottom, and this is one of the heaviest life-size busts that I've ever owned. I'm used to them actually being kind of light and hollow. This guy's gotta weigh like over 60 pounds. Today's video is brought to you by Street Level Hero. Make sure to check out slhla.com for the month of September because they're having a huge buy one, get one half off sale. You can see the beautiful slabs that they have on screen here, plus they have their exclusive variants. Make sure to check them out before the deal is over. And right away, man, I'm noticing some damage on the jawline here. It looks like maybe the weather may have affected it and it's like separating the jaw from the gums a little bit. Man, that's super disappointing. We'll put the tongue in there. I left that felt piece on. It didn't say to take it off in the assembly. And there are kind of like a lot of seams and separation going on in here, man. We'll talk about during the review. It looks great at a glance though. You can already see those teeth close up. The same saliva paint application was used on there. We'll get to that later. Onto the assembly. So like I mentioned, there's a couple of pieces that'll wrap around the shoulders, have multiple key in points. So that's one of them. This longer piece of tendril goes on his back to the front of his chest. And I like how not only does the peg match in with that notch, but you can see the symbiote that surrounds it kind of has a groove where they fit in as well. This one even has a little circle for the front of his chest. Moving towards the bottom, I think I actually put this one in maybe too early, but we'll go back and fix it. It's pretty easy to see which piece goes where with the instructions, so we're just going to key in all the symbiote tendrils around the base. You can see it's pretty easy, self-explanatory. Except on this one, I ended up having to put this smaller piece in first and then this piece to the left. I don't know if I messed that up or not, but that's everything except for the nameplate. Let's go ahead and get that placed in front and center. And there we go. Why did this thing have to come in damaged? Man, I've actually sat with it for a while before I first noticed the damage until now, and kind of getting over it a little bit. I'm gonna see what can be done, what kind of recourse there is, because man, it's just such an eyesore. I don't know if it picked up on camera, but like the paint is chipping away on the black near that gum line, and it also looks like there's cracks on both sides of his jaw, and that's what I was saying. It looks like there's a lot of separation, so that's kind of throwing me off. But you know what, I feel good enough now seeing this massive piece in person, sitting with it for a little while, that I think I could do a non-biased review. So first of all, like I mentioned, this is from Queen Studios. This retailed $1,500. They made 576 of them. I actually forgot to mention the edition size was on that COA, if you guys saw earlier. Doesn't look like there's any credit to the artist or sculptor, so let's go ahead and get these measurements in. Let's see. So 31 inches tall. The diameter of the base, it's about 13 inches, maybe 14 inches at some points, but that total width, I want to say it's about 25, 26 inches, but it's one of those things where if you can angle it the right way, I'm sure you can get away with it. Massive, heavy piece, enormous. Let's start by looking at the base now that everything's assembled. I'm digging the nameplate. I think it gives you a little bit more oomph to that base. And behind that, you just have this sea of symbiote tendrils just brewing. I like the movement in it. I like how it goes around to his back and goes into the torso, almost like the tree of life. Like you could see that symbiote looking like an alien hive going up to create this bust. Now on the chest, it does have a gnarly looking Spider-Man emblem. Personally, you guys always hear me say, I like the cleaner look, the more Mark Bagley, Eddie Brock look, but it really matches this piece to have it look wild like this, because this isn't a comic book depiction. This is like a lifelike, realistic take on Venom. So much texturing throughout the skin. The muscle definition is insane. I mean, if you look at the back of his neck, his traps, his delts, he is ripped. He's huge, like the bodybuilder Eddie Brock is. So mixing with the symbiote, it makes sense that he's so monstrous. The muscle tendons going up through his neck, so many veins crawling throughout as well, until you get into that elongated jaw. Now, this is where the piece shines. The mouth area, with not only the teeth, but the inside of the mouth. You even have his little dingleberry thing hanging down there, and the massive tongue, which is probably the best paint job in statues that I've ever seen. I think taking down Prime 1 Studios' quarter scale Venom portrait, which had an amazing grill and tongue combo as well, but this one totally tops that in my opinion. Those teeth all have this translucency to them. They have like this browning towards the bottom that rise up into that bone color. So many teeth, jagged teeth, and there are 5 or so of them that have like saliva drops hanging down off of them. That clear saliva looks so realistic, and the little droplet at the end of the tongue, that's just like the chef's kiss, man. That looks amazing. He's got this mean expression on his face. He has the alien-like eyes, and I like the little tinge of blue. Most companies know to do that when it comes to Venom, so it's there, along with some more shadowing and darker spots as well. And I think now you can see how I got over the small amount of damage. Just looking over this piece, it's definitely impressive as hell. I'm going to see what kind of recourse there is, like I said, about the damage. I would hate to have to send this whole thing back. That's going to be a nightmare. I don't know. What would you do? Let me know in the comments down below. If this was your piece and you had that type of damage, would you ask for a partial refund or a credit, or would you try to return the whole thing for a replacement? Let me know down in the comments, and I appreciate you guys watching. I'm going to leave you with Venom spinning 360 degrees on the turntable. Stay minty fresh. Peace.